Welcome to this week's episode of Maroon TV News. I'm Liz Stark.
And I'm Mike Basilio.
And here are today's top stories.
The Lascivious Ball returned Friday night to Idenoise Hall, featuring dancing and student performances. The ball dates back to the 1970s, when students were given free entry for appearing completely naked. Although full nudity is no longer allowed, participants are encouraged to wear as little clothing as possible. The event celebrates freedom of sexual expression and kicks off UChicago's Sex Week.
The Organization of Black Students, the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and the Campus Dialogue Fund brought Democratic political strategist Donna Brazile to campus on Thursday. Brazile is a CNN contributor and serves on the board of the National Democratic Institute. Brazile spoke about the current state of black politics 50 years after the Civil Rights Movement and on the March on Washington.
UChicago's slam poetry RSO Catcher in the Rhyme held their annual hip-hop slam contest this Wednesday. Contestants assembled in Logan Cafe and performed original slam poetry in a hip-hop style, covering popular rap songs. The event also featured Authentic, a spoken word artist who tours the country spreading her love of poetry.
On Friday, Republican Party Chairman Reince Priebus sat down for an off-the-record event hosted by the Institute of Politics Director David Axelrod. Our political reporter, Sean Graff, was there for a post-event interview with College Republicans President Jonathan Godoy.
The chairman of the Republican National Committee, Reince Priebus, came to the University of Chicago for an off-the-record discussion with community members and students. Joining me now is Jonathan Godoy, who is the president of the College Republicans. Jonathan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, I know the discussion was off the record, but in general, what do you make of the fact that the chairman of the party, which is a very prominent position, is reaching out to students at a time where the 2016 election is rapidly approaching?
Well, I think that post-2012 election, the party kind of saw, at least internally and on the leadership level, that it needs to change a few of its outreach motives and strategies. And I think that it saw that reaching out to not only young students, but minorities, which we had just completely lost in the 2012 election, and we had figured we can probably gain a little bit, was priority for us. As you know, has been mentioned, we lost 70% of the Hispanic vote, 75% of the Asian American vote, and though we made gains on the youth vote, it wasn't significant enough to produce, obviously, a win for us. So we don't want to be a party that is necessarily reliant upon one demographic of the population. We want to broaden our horizons, get a little bit more diversity in us, and hedge our bets, essentially, on elections, and I think that's part of the initiative here.
I see.
The sport Ultimate Frisbee has been a hit on college campuses for quite some time. Our Louise Simpson recently paid a visit to UChicago's very own Ultimate team for this week's RSO Spotlight.
Ultimate Frisbee is one of University of Chicago's most athletic RSOs.
Ultimate is basically just a field sport. It's 7v7, and it's kind of like a combination of soccer, football, and basketball. Basically, the objective is to throw the Frisbee to a receiver in an end zone, and you're not allowed to run when you have it, so you have to set a pivot like in basketball and throw it.
They meet 3 times a week in the fall and 2 times a week in the winter, with 3 times weekly workouts. Practices are held in the mornings from 7 to 9 a.m. in Henry Crown and involve everything from scrimmages to conditioning. Tryouts are in the fall, and there are 2 teams determined.
Well, it's a club sport here, which means, it's not associated with the NCAA, it's not varsity, we don't get privileges like that. But it's a club sport, and we do represent the university.
The Ultimate Frisbee team is competitive. This past weekend, they competed at a tournament at Stanford University. There were 24 teams in the tournament, and although they are not in their competitive season, the tournament was important for rankings in the season.
This competitive season runs through about the middle of spring quarter into March. We're hoping to get to semifinals this year. Last year was a heartbreaker. We lost to Michigan State, close game, and we just want to take baby steps, closer to going to nationals this year.
In addition to the athleticism they all display, the team is also incredibly close.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time together, not just playing Frisbee. We have a lot of social activities. Our team's very close. Yeah, we actually have a mantra on the team is that, we should all be best friends. So, and we are best friends. We are best friends. Great.
I'm Louise Simpson, Maroon TV News.
Every year, hundreds of costumed Japanese animation enthusiasts get together for Chicon, an all-day anime festival run by the UChicago Japanese Animation Society. I was there for the report. Last Saturday, anime lovers took over Ida Noyes Hall for UChicago, sponsored by the UChicago Japanese Animation Society.
I think anime has really gained a popular backing, and also because it's a free event, a lot of younger people, teenagers, show up because they're like, oh hey, it's a free weekend Saturday event, and all I really had to pay for is food. So they'll just come in, show up, have a good time. We're really a community-oriented convention.
Hundreds of attendees were encouraged to dress up as their favorite characters from the anime series and fandoms.
I'm dressed as Akemi Homura from the third Madoka movie, so I'm actually currently a walking spoiler.
I'm a demonic zombified stuffed animal from the furry fandom.
I'm dressed as Luffy from One Piece.
And I'm Rono Zoro. And we're both pirates that trying to become the best that we can be.
Yep, best in the world.
UChicago featured cosplay workshops, panel discussions, and a much-anticipated costume contest. UChicago was the perfect event for guests to discuss the past, present, and future of Chicago's anime scene.
As the con developed, it became kind of a event for people who were just trying to get into anime but really couldn't afford larger conventions that may be $60, $70 for a weekend to come in and try things out, and also for parents to bring their children who are getting interested in anime.
What I like about it is the location where it is. It's new to me to always go see other places, always be other places, see new people, try to get more people to see us in a different light.
As for me, it's just pretty much a way to escape from reality.
From Ida Noyes Hall, this is Liz Stark for Maroon TV News.
This past week, the Classical Entertainment Society premiered its CES Fest. Every night from Wednesday to Saturday, students presented shows at the theater in Ida Noyes Hall. Plays presented included Aristophanes' The Clouds and a work about cannibalistic cavemen called Cro-Magnon, written and directed by second-year Josh Harris.
Up next is our weekly UChicago segment, where we send reporters onto the field to hear from you. This week, to celebrate the beginning of the Winter Olympics in Russia, I asked students, what is your favorite Winter Olympic sport?
My favorite Winter Olympic sport is probably figure skating.
My favorite Olympic sport is ice dancing because the costumes are so cool.
I would probably say any of the snowboarding, jumps and stunts and stuff. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really like figure skating just because I like jumping and seeing people defy gravity. It's really cool.
Figure skating.
Skiing.
Figure skating.
It's curling. My favorite Olympic sport is the slalom. It's a ski event.
I like the speed skating track just because it's fast and fast paced.
My favorite Winter Olympic sport is snowboarding superpipe because Shaun White's one of my favorite athletes and I can't wait to see what he does.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Maroon TV News. I'm Liz Stark.
And I'm Mike Vasilio. Have a great week.